Welcome to CTV News Trendline with Michael Stittle and Nick Nanos.
So you track the issues that matter most to Canadians, and I mean, there's some big ones out there: the economy, environment, housing. It goes on. What is number one these days?
Well, it's basically a statistical tie factoring the margin of error. Healthcare has been the focus for Canadians for a significant part of 2023. We had the big healthcare deal between the federal government and the provinces. So we still have healthcare at around 16% nationally as a top national issue concern. It's down about 4 points in the last 4 weeks. We have jobs in the economy basically within the margin of error at 14, inflation at 10, environment 9, national security at 5, debt 4, cost of living 3. The interesting thing, Michael, is roll up. So healthcare is at 16, but if you roll up all these economic measures or these economic things, kind of like the cost of living, debt, inflation, jobs in the economy, it's like a smorgasbord of concern, but it adds up to about 3 out of every 10 Canadians focused on meat and potatoes issues directly related to their pocketbook or to the economy. So what we're seeing right now, at least in 2023, is a move away from issues like healthcare, and now a greater focus on those economic issues.
We just saw a federal budget. Provincial governments are tackling this, and it just does not seem to be going away. I mean, it's an ongoing political issue that seems to just be getting worse.
Yeah, because I think Canadians are worried about where the economy is going to be. In our weekly consumer confidence tracking for Bloomberg News, consumer confidence is not positive. Hasn't been positive like for 6 months. It hasn't been positive. It's still in net negative territory, moving towards neutral. But the reality is Canadians are still worried about paying for the rent. They're still worried about paying for groceries, and there's a massive dark cloud over a significant number of Canadians who are just worried about paying the bills this week. So there's a significant level of grumpiness right now and uncertainty related to the economy. And we don't know really what's going to happen in 2023. There'll probably be some sort of downturn. Hopefully it won't be that bad. But, Canadians are buckling up for the worst.
We see it become a major, source of political debate in the House of Commons. I'm curious how you think the NDP has been handling it lately.
Well, interestingly, there's been some downward pressure on the NDP numbers in our ballot tracking, especially coming out of the budget, which means they've kind of been a non-entity on this. And what's been in the news for the New Democrats? Not a lot. And the thing is that when healthcare was on the upswing, that was actually a good period for both the Liberals and the New Democrats when their numbers were up. Now if there's an increasing focus on economic issues like jobs and inflation and the debt and the cost of living and stuff like that, my sense is that this usually favors the Conservatives. So it'll be interesting to see the Conservative numbers. But the NDP have to reinsert themselves in the debate. The budget has been presented, but there's still going to be that whole process of the vote in the House of Commons. That's going to be a key opportunity for the NDP to kind of get their message out, not just on things like healthcare, where we know the NDP have credibility, but on fiscal issues and economic issues, which is what Canadians want to hear about from all of the federal party leaders.
I mean, the reason I single out the NDP is I feel like cost of living is sort of an NDP issue, but economic stewardship, people might think more about the Conservatives and Liberals. Yeah. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, absolutely. The Conservatives, usually the Prime Minister, whoever happens to be the Prime Minister of the day, does well on economic stewardship. Right now, we're in an environment where Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the opposition, is actually doing very decently and very competitive with Justin Trudeau on fiscal stewardship and having a bit of an advantage, which is unusual for the leader of the opposition. But for the New Democrats, when we think about that cost of living, also as part of that mix is housing, and housing and the cost of housing is something that the NDP could use as a lever in order to engage Canadians, because the New Democrats have credibility not just on things like healthcare, but also on things like affordable housing.